Magandang araw, Podmates. Howie Severino muli na nagpapaalala na nakakatalino ang mahabang attention span. Ang guest natin ngayon ay nag-cover ng Paris Olympics para sa GMA Integrated News. JP Soriano, ang veteranong reporter na karaniwan ay nasa Foreign Affairs Beat. Magandang araw sa iyo, JP Soriano.
Magandang araw, Sir Howie. Nako, finally natuloy na rin. At sa iyong mga avid podcast listeners and viewers, so magandang araw po. Bonjour.
Bonjour sa iyo. Thank you for joining us, JP. Ang dami sigurong nag-iisip siguro, na napakaswerte mong nakapag-cover ng Paris Olympics, no? Pero alam natin na pag nag-cover ng malaking event na ganyan na maraming ganap, ang laki rin ng pressure at halos walang pahinga, no? Sinong kasama mo nag-cover at paano kayo nag-prepare?
Well, ang cameraman ko, Sir Howie, si Rico Banwa. You may know him. Si Rico Banwa, kaming dalawa lang actually ang nagpunta doon. So it's a two-man team for GMA Integrated News, GMA Network in general. And well, mahaba yung preparation period kasi I went there as officially under as Philippine Olympic Committee media delegation kasi because of the restrictions of the IOC and yung mga allowed lang na pwedeng bigyan ng credentials, and limited lang siya to accommodate journalists from both print and TV. So mahaba yung preparation, Sir Howie, mga buwan. Siguro more than 6 months kasi I remember attending meetings with the POC, with our desk editors. Yan, sila Ma'am Tech, sila the sports edit. We have a sports desk now, by the way. So
So what were you able to see, do, and experience na hindi nabawal sa karaniwang media doon?
okay, kasi yung aking ID allows me to go to the mix zone. Mix zone is the area where lahat ng atleta after ng game nila are required to pass and we can do interview. So not all media people na nagko-cover doon allowed sila sa mix zone. So that's one. So doon pa lang meron na akong guaranteed interview. Not necessarily video because yung video is reserved for the media rights holder, and in this case it's another of our colleagues na meron dito sa Philippines, not GMA, but we can record audio, we can take photos, and do interviews, which I did. So that's one. Mixo, napaka laking bagay na yon. Allowed din kami to go to the Media Tribune. Media Tribune is where ito yung mismong, para kung may ticket, nanonood sa mismong game. So it's a very, parang talagang ang lapit niya, para siyang VIP ticket na ang lalaki. Hindi lahat din ng media meron nun. Sometimes you need to get a day pass. It has to be approved pa by the media IOC members doon sa venue. So ayun.
So lahat, excuse me, so lahat ng sporting events ay may ganung section, no, para sa nagko-cover at para sa mga katulad mong affiliated sa POC. So you had a kumbaga ringside seat to historic sporting events at the Olympics.
Absolutely, sir. Sobrang uh, I was able to watch the Team USA, Team France finals, all access doon kahit na that's very high demand games. I had access doon sa lahat ng championship ng games natin ng Filipino athletes, pati kay Simone. Yun nga lang, sir, because I'm not IOC, ang International Olympic Committee, merong rule na ang pwede lang kumuha ng video on the playing field or the media rights holder. But still, mas madali siyang isulat for a reporter like me na nakita ko siya up close. For example, yung kay Carlos Yulo, yung first lahat ng laban niya, of course, yung two finals, no, yung men's floor and yung the following day yung men's vault. So I was witness to that. Nasa media tribune ako noon. Nakikita ko lahat ng anggulo, pati yung mga reaction ni Kaloy instantly. I can tweet about it. I was tweeting about it because I can do that while I cannot share videos. Pero grabe, pag naalala ko, nakikilabutan pa rin ako kasi ito yung time na kitang-kita ko yung reaction ni Kaloy na nalaman niyang siya na yung, wala na, hindi na nakuha ng, wala na nakabeat ng score niya. So, and then of course, the Lupang Hinirang was played, ganon. Yeah.
Okay, JP, for Filipinos, of course, no, this will be remembered for the double gold medals of Carlos Yulo. So you were there during his actual competition. Pero ano yung, before I ask you about his performance, no, ano yung atmosphere at buzz sa competition? Siya ba yung isa sa mga favorite? Paano nagre-react yung crowd sa kanya? I mean, how did, how did he interact with people like you and other athletes? Ano yung, what was the vibe like around him during the Olympics?
Obviously, yung mga Filipino community na nasa France, very excited, yung mga fans from the Philippines sa bumiyahe to Paris to watch, siya talaga yung inaabangan, and isa siya sa mga inaabangan. Pero ang masiguro share ko lang yung reaction from the international sports journalist. Yung merong bus kay Kaloy kasi parang he's the only Southeast Asian athlete there. Lahat ng kalaban niya are from Western countries. And hindi naman siya nag-place nung Tokyo Olympics, but ang taas ng anticipation kanya kasi coming in from World Championships, siya yung champion. So pinag-uusapan siya in short ng mga international journalists. In fact, may mga kasama kaming mga reporter from ESPN, New York Times na nag-aabang sa kanya. No? So nakita ko na alam ko na siya yung inaabangan talaga. Nakakausap namin si Kaloy because nga I have access dun sa mix zone. Lahat ng game niya, after, dadaan talaga siya sa amin. So nakakausap ko siya, na-interview. And then I can tell him na pwede ba kitang makausap ulit outside sa labas ng mix zone para I can use the video of Rico. So, ganon yung mga interaction namin. Yes, and of course, yung mga Pinoy fans, hindi lahat, sobrang mahal kasi ng ticket sa so yun ang kwento din ng mga Pinoy doon. So may mga bumiyahe pero not from Manila to Paris or Philippines to Paris, pero not necessarily nakabili ng ticket. Either punong-puno na, not ng ibang nation, or super mahal na nung bibili sila. So nag-aabang sila sa labas ng Bercy Arena. So, naging barkada ko ng iba doon, Sir Javi, kasi ang tagal na, ilang araw na kaming nag-aabangan doon, kasama na nagkikita na kami. So, they ask, ako pa nga yung tinatanong nila, Sir JP, lalabas na po ba si Carl? So, parang in a way, ako na yung, alam nila na I have access and I see them. So, ayun. So, yeah, it's grabe yung anticipation kay Kaloy, not just for Filipinos, but meron din talagang international journalists na nag-aabang sa kanya.
So during the competition itself, was there tension? I mean, matindi ba yung laban? I mean, people expected him to do well, no? But there were other top competitors there. Ano yung pinaka-threat sa kanya doon? And how well did he have to do to get the gold?
Yung sa first niya, yung sa floor exercise, I remember very close talaga. Parang ang ganda rin nung performance nung naka-silver medalist, yung tiga Israel, na reigning Olympic champion from Tokyo. At yung venue ng Bercy Arena, grabe, punong-puno ng Israeli fans. So I could parang see their flags, parang nabili nila yung buong stadium that night, no? And bilang na bilang lang yung makikita ko may Philippine flag. So scattered sila, nakikita naman ako, pero lahat ng katabi ko doon from where I was seated sa media tribune, puro mga Israeli flag, meron ding Great Britain, so mga European countries nandoon. Grabe yung sigawan, ang taas anticipation kay yun sa silver medalist. But nung in-announce na nung siya na yung winner, ramdam mo talaga yung quiet talaga. I cannot say na buong stadium nagsisigawan for Kaloy. Kasi nga, bilang lang yung mga Pinoy. Pero yun yung mas parang you want to, kung pwede mo lang isigaw lahat para tumulong ka sa pag-cheer. But they all stood kasi sasabihin doon sa pagnanalo na if you can, please stand for the national anthem of the Philippines. So, yun naman yung so tumayo naman silang lahat. So, yeah, nakakaano lang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
JP, ang gymnastics kasi may judging, no? May mga judges diyan. Hindi naman 'yan pabilisan o
Yeah.
palakasan katulad ng ibang events na madalas malinaw kung sino yung nananalo, no? Nung in-announce na nanalo si Carlos Yulo, was there any dispute? Were there questions about the judging or talagang malinaw kahit doon sa mga kalaban, kahit doon sa mga kababayan ng mga ibang nag-compete na si Carlos talaga yung pinakamagaling?
Based sa nakita ko, Sir Howie, parang malinaw talaga. Parang although yung the way you measure yung game na to, no, it's really based on judging. Pero nakalagay naman kasi sa scoreboard yung mga difficulties, may mga parang very transparent naman din. And talagang ang ganda ng performance si Carlos. And parang kahit hindi ka from the Philippines, sasabihin mo, siya talaga. Siya talaga. Nasabi ko rin yun, ay, siya siya yung mananalo kasi syempre in-observe mo 'di ba parang yung performance ng iba. Although magaling nga din yung iba, including Jake Jarman, yung Phil British na nakasama niya nag-bronze.
Oo,
Uh,
half Pinoy din yun, ano?
yeah, his mom is from Cebu and he sort of like lived there for a while, no? Pero talagang wala kan tahimik. When I say tahimik kasi syempre tahimik dahil gusto nila mag-champion yung bansa nila like yung Israel like I said Sir Javi punong-puno ng mga Israeli national yung ang daming flags nila and ang taas na expectation sa kanya dahil nga siya yung former champion and ayun yun yung napansin ko wala namang mga nag parang nag boo or anything walang ganon talagang malinaw based on sa nakita ko
Tanggap ng lahat na
tanggap,
siya
in short,
talaga
tanggap ng lahat.
ang karapat-dapat na nanalo.
Very close actually, sir, yung laban. Kung performance-wise, although hindi naman din ako expert sa gymnastics, kung based sa mata ng isang nanonood lang din ng live doon, mas close, mas dikit yung performance sa vault. Ito yung second gold ni Kaloy. Pero sa floor, parang sobrang glaring. Yung the following day, you know na it's Kaloy, but magaling din yung performance ng iba. So, yun nga, doon na rin papasok yung mga technicalities na pag-judge, number ng mga judges.
Well, yun nga yung medyo in a way shocking, no? Kasi we were just celebrating his gold medal and then the next day nanalo siya ulit ng gold, no? Parang parang when it rains it pours. Parang ganun ang pakiramdam. Ano ba yung mga reaction doon sa Paris?
Grabe, yung Philippine Olympic Committee, yung buong Philippine team, um, tama yun, na yung pagkakadescribe mo, alam mo yung hindi pa tapos doon sa high na, na gold. Although, sinasabi na ng POC and then ng mga sports, ibang kasamahan nating mga sports journalist na matagal na nagko-cover niyan, na kasama natin sa POC Media na isa to sa mga favorite din talaga ni Kaloy, itong vault, no? So parang hindi imposible na talagang manalo siya ulit. So parang alam mo na nag-celebrate ka pero parang hindi rin parang far shot na mag-gold siya ulit. So parang sinasike na ng POC yung sarili nila na just in case, in fact nagpaplano na nga sila kung paano yung gagawin, which nangyari, no? So talagang grabe lang yung emotion dahil hindi ka patapos mag-celebrate doon sa gold niya kinagabihan. Pero the following day meron na. Kaya pala si Kaloy nung time na yon, he did not want to parang lumabas muna para batiin lahat ng mga Pinoy fans kasi gusto niya mag-concentrate dun sa laban niya the following day. Which he did. After niya mag-champion na double gold, talagang inisa-isa niya lahat ng mga Pilipino nag-aabtay sa Bercy Arena. So, I could sense na even Kaloy knew sa sarili niya na malaki yung tsansa niya. And he's very confident. Sinabi niya sa amin yun. Iba yung ano niya, iba yung confidence niya based on sa the way he speaks, mag-smile, makipag-usap.
Yeah, so JP, no, gymnastics kasi napakaliit ng margin of error diyan, no? You really have to be at your best both physically and mentally, no? You make a small mistake, pwede ka nang matalo, 'di ba? I mean, every movement there is judged and watched, no? So the focus and the concentration have to be immense, no? Which makes his achievement even more impressive because when we find out later on na meron pala siyang malaking for a lot of people it would have been a big distraction, ano, itong family drama na matagal na palang nagaganap, between him and the rest of his family, in particular yung mama niya, no? I mean, I have to ask you about this because sumabay itong pagputok ng bali-balita tungkol sa yun nga sa pamilya niya, while the whole country was celebrating, and it became a debate as well. There was some soul searching among many of us observers, journalists, na dapat bang patulan ito? How much attention should we be giving it? Hindi pa to nakakasira ng mood natin na bihirang ma-experience ng Pilipino. I mean, after all, these are only the third, yung two medals niya are only the third, the second and the third gold medals ever ng Pilipino. Tapos nahaluan pa ng ganitong klaseng issue, no? So you were there in Paris while some of this was going on, no? So were you paying attention yourself? Ano yung nakita mong reaction ni Carlos? And did you notice that this was also distracting him? Was anything bothering him during the competition? Did you have any clue that this was going on in his life and maybe even in his mind?
Yeah. Well, I had a clue, Sir Howie, kasi parang usap-usapan na rin naman siya among sports circle, mga journalists na may pinagdaraanan ng personal si Kaloy with his family. So it's really not hindi naman siya something na parang hindi alam totally, pero yung magnitude ng developments nag-unfold yan nga nung nasa after ng mga ano niya. Wala akong na-notice kay Kaloy na obviously he's not. Obviously, kung meron man siyang pinagdaraanan, obviously it did not affect, no, his performance kasi he elevated himself to greatness, no, kahit nga ganon yung pinagdaraanan niya. I cannot say kung yung hindi niya yung mga smile ba niya, may lungkot sa mata niya. I cannot say that. Wala akong maganong ma-picture. Pero when it happened, sir, of course, I have to listen, no, kung ano yung I have to watch out there. Pero never pumasok sa isip ko, and even our desk, na parang tanungin siya about it or unahan siya with questions unless he volunteers. Kasi remember at that time, meron na mga press ko na nagaganap dito from his mother and all. But ang argument ko at that time, and I'm sure yun din yung desk, is una, hindi naman siya government official. We're not talking about government funds here, di ba? So, walang kinalaman dito ang pera ng bayan. So, walang urgency to ask, di ba? Kasi ang story dito is his victory, yung kanyang enormous achievement for the country. So, never really occurred unless he i-volunteer na yun. Ganun yung ganun yung agreement, no? Yun yung aming very sensitive din. Nag-usap din kami ng desk editor na kailangan mo tong i-handle na napaka-delicate matter because wala tayong technically, kahit pinag-uusapan na siya ng buong Pilipinas at lahat ng sa social media, yung totoo lang, wala tayong pakialam dyan. Wala tayong kinalaman. This is a personal nilang pinagdadaanan yan. Personal na pamilya nila yan. So, again, he's not a government official. We're not, walang pinag-uusapan ditong pondo ng bayan. So, walang dahilan para ungkatin kung ano man yung pinagtatalunan ng family nila. It's sad. Ang lungkot lang na parang hindi ko matignan si Kaloy at some point. When I was able to meet him after 2 days after his yung double gold medal because we interviewed him live for 24 Oras. Actually gave him Rico and I bought nung gabi na before kami alam namin may live interview sa kanya, we bought a happiness plan for Kaloy kasi sabi ko, ano ba pwedeng ibigay sa two-time Olympic medal na lahat meron na siya eh. So ano bang ano? So nagharap kami sa Paris ng ano ba yung maganda? So may ano ba yung mga so merong happiness plant na binili kami, binigay namin sa kanya.
Happiness plant.
Happiness plant kasi we went to the florist. Ano ba what can
Halaman ito. Buhay.
yes, it's a small plant na pwede mong na compact, pwedeng dalhin. Yun ang sabi, happiness plant. So, binigyan namin sa kanya, tuwang-tuwa siya. I, akala ko nga parang, ano, thank you Kuya JP, tapos parang, so, natouch siya
That
doon sa
sounds so
maliit na,
sweet na tuwang-tuwa siya, JP, dahil kung tutuusin, maliit na bagay lang naman yung
yeah,
halaman na yun compared to what he just did,
yes,
what he just received, di ba?
yes.
2 gold medals, tapos matutuwa siya sa isang halaman. But I guess it reveals, a part of him that is quite charming.
Yeah, Enrico told me na bit-bit niya yon hanggang paglabas niya doon sa interview namin. Bit-bit-bit niya yun. Parang yun nga, maliit na bagay, parang appreciate niya. So, yeah, nalulungkot ako na parang nung yung pagkapanalo niya na merong ganong kasabay. Ay, hindi ko nga siya matignan, Sir Javi, naaawa ako sa kanya. But siya mismo parang inassure niya na he's okay, he's fighting. Si Heidelin Diaz, nakita sila that day, Sir Howie. She was in Paris to support the athletes as well. And then nakita sila doon sa isang area where we were at the time. Sinabi niya ni Heidelin kay Kaloy, grabe, alam ko yung mga pinagdaanan mo, galing mo, nalampasan mo yan, nakakuha ka pa ng gold, dalawa pa.
You
Yung mga
overheard this, JP?
Yes, I heard that. So parang I don't know kung alam ni Heidelin yung was she referring to the pinagdadaanan to the personal, pero it appears na close sila kasi grabe yung sabi ni Kaloy doon sa na grabe daw yung inspiration niya at motivation niya from Heidelin. So I suppose very very close sila kasi nagte-text daw sila madalas eh. So it's hindi sila stranger.
It's a very exclusive club. Let's put it that way, JP.
Yeah.
But I saw your photo with them, with the two of them. That's very rare, no? Kasi I'm sure hindi naman sila laging magkasama nagkataon. I won't ko kung nakita mo lang sila or in-arrange mo na makipag-selfie sa kanila. Ano yung background ng litratong yun? Kayong tatlo, I saw it. I think in one of your articles, no? It was in the streets of Paris after the gold medals of Kaloy, no?
Yes, sir. Hindi namin alam na makikita. I knew na nandun sa Paris si Heidelin, pero I did not know na makikita pala sila dun sa Sinet din ni Kaloy na area kung saan kami pwede mag-meet, na makikita rin sila ni Heidelin. Siguro sinabi na lang niya randomly na nandito ako, ganyan. So nagulat din ako na nandun si Heidelin. So we covered it. Actually, just to give you si Heidelin po nagtatago. Ayaw niya magpakita sa amin. Nung nakita may camera, alam mo sabi niya, ayaw kung it's si Kaloy lang. Ayaw niya talaga. Ayaw niyang kunin yung limelight.
Limelight.
Ikaso, na-corner ko siya, nandun na siya. Sabi ko, champ, andito na tayo eh. Ano bang masasabi mo dito sa moment na to? Ayun. So, hiyang-hiya, para siya nagtatago sa amin. Ayaw niya magpakita dahil gusto niya si Kaloy lang. In fact, nagtatago siya sa isang cafe. So, and then that selfie happened. Sabi ko, kinukunan namin yung mga moment nila. It was Kaloy who asked me, Kuya JP, gusto mo? So, syempre, 'di ba, nag-groovy kami with that. So it was him who initiated na if I wanted to a groovy with them. Kasi nakita niya kinukunan namin siya. So
that's also gracious of you, JP, dahil you were not inserting yourself into their moment, no? Kasi nagbabonding sila noon, no? So
oo, sir, hindi talaga. Ano 'yon? Patapos na rin naman 'yon, and then pa-wrap up na sila noon. Tapos kinukunan nga namin sila ng video. So, siguro si Kaloy, ang bait ng bata eh. Talagang, very sensitive siya sa feelings. Na, parang na-notice ko, very observant siya sa kung ano yung kilos mo, ganyan. So, that's what I noticed about him.
Okay, JP, yesterday, so today is August 21, no? Yesterday, August 20, bumisita si Kaloy Yulo sa GMA Network, yung office natin. Were you among the crowd that greeted him there?
I was, sir. Isa ako sa mga welcoming committee kasi katulong natin yung mga desk editors natin. Isa tayo sa mga nag-arrange ng invitation na yon for that visit. So, and
So
syempre,
how was he? I mean, were there was there a change from the Kaloy Yulo that you got to know in Paris? It's been a couple of weeks already. Ganun pa rin ba siya? Did he look affected by all this controversy about his family?
mukha namang siyang relax. Mukha namang siyang relax. Although sinasabi nga niya na gustong-gusto na niya magbakasyon. Yun yung sinasabi niya sa interview niya with Pia, Ate Pia Arcangel. All smiles pa rin, ganun pa rin. Very, very, well, nagawa pa niya makipagbiroan ng konti sa akin. Meron ako pinaalala sa kanyang something that we saw in Paris na natandaan pa pala niya yon. So mukha namang siya, but I noticed parang in fact, ang hiniling lang niya pagdating niya doon kahapon, Kuya JP, may kape po ba kayo? May kape. So na-notice ko mahilig pala siya sa black coffee. So hinanda na, meron naman pala tayo nakahandang isang malaking black brewed coffee sa taas. So yun agad ang ininom ni Kaloy. So mahilig siya sa kape. Yun din yung sabi ni Miss Cynthia, yung president ng Gymnastics Association. Yeah, mukha naman siya relaxer, masaya siya.
So he's only 24, JP, has he given an inkling whether he plans to defend his Olympic title?
Alam mo nyo, Sir Howie, Paris pa lang, sa mga interviews niya, siya na mismo nagvo-volunteer na sa mga sentences niya na yun nga, naghahanda na po para para tuloy-tuloy po ang paghahanda natin para sa Los Angeles 2028. So, in his mind, malinaw sa kanya na hindi pa tapos yung nasasali pa siya sa Olympics ulit. And ang good news doon, sinasabi ng GAP na bubuo sila ng isang gymnastics team. So it's not just gonna be him. So kumbaga may Team USA, bubuo siya ng Team Philippines, all male, all female. Kasama doon sa i-recruit ni Miss Cynthia ng GAP is yung nakababatang kapatid ni Kaloy na si Eldrew na nananalo na rin sa mga tournaments sa Asia. So, bubuo sila ng team, malinaw kay
So may
Kaloy.
napapansin ka na may ganong momentum, not just for his career, but for the gymnastic scene in the Philippines, no? I mean, if you're talking long term, I mean, something like this should mean more than just an achievements for an individual, di ba? I mean, this is an honor for the country, pero once, once that glory starts fading we're thinking about a lot of other things, winning another gold or achieving more in gymnastics and other sports where Filipinos can win, no? Takes a lot of work, resources, commitment, no? So may ganun ang mga plano ang sinasabi mo, JP, to make sure that yung impact ni Carlos Yulo goes beyond what he has achieved on his own.
If you go to the Gymnastics Association's gym in Intramuros, Manila, where that's parang that's the biggest and only Olympic approved gym for gymnastics, punong-puno ng mga bata na para lang makapagpa-register at makapag-enroll o makapag-train doon. Grabe yung anticipation.
Well, Carlos has already proven that you don't need to import anyone to win a gold medal, no? I mean, tama, we need to develop the grassroots. Of course, we don't want to discount also yung pagka-Pilipino ng mga lumaki sa overseas, no? Many Filipino, yung mga second generation ng mga migrants, OFWs, many of them also feel that they're as Filipino as anyone else, kahit hindi dito lumaki. But sa ibang bansa kasi marami ng programa, no, para sa mga young athletes. Dito sa atin kailangan talaga ng tulong, no? So magandang priority yan ng Gymnastics Association of the Philippines, no? But I want to ask you, JP, about the other athletes na nagmedal, no? Wag nating kalimutan na may bronze medal din na dalawang boxer, si Ira Villegas and si Nesty Pelesio, whom you also watched, no? So tell us naman about them. Ano yung mga memorable moments tungkol sa kanila? sa Paris Olympics?
Ako, Sir Howie, sobrang, siguro isa sa mga biggest heartbreaks ng Paris coverage is yung kay Nesty Petesio. And even Ira Villegas kasi more of parang this is her first Olympic parang competition, and yet na ganun yung tingin and yet nakapag-bronze siya. Parang so it's really something na si Nessie kasi came in as silver medalist at Tokyo, and everybody was hoping and expecting her to be an Olympic champion because it's her time. Sobrang ganda ng performance niya. We watch all her competitions. Biro mo, nalagpasan niya lahat ng mga preliminary competitions and unanimous decision. Um, Kino-question yung last fight niya ng ABAP. I'm not gonna go into the technicalities of it, but ramdam mo yung frustration talaga ng buong Philippine team ng ano. Pero alam nyo, ang hindi ko makakalimutan yung nagsettle for bronze si Nesty Petesio. Grabe yung how she handled it with pride, and napaka-dignified. Yun ng Olympic champion. Mas Olympic champion pa for me, as a fan, as a viewer, yung naging actions niya after that heartbreaking loss than doon sa mismong award. Kasi kinamayan niya yung nakalaban niya, nagbow siya, inano niya yung Philippine flag. Sa interview, I could not look at her sa mixon. Hindi ko kaya siyang tignan. Pero she gave me the reassuring look na, okay lang po yan, boss. Okay lang yan. Si God may better plan, sabi niya. God has better plans. And then, pero bigla niya sinabi na pinipigilan kong maiyak. Sabi niya ganon. So parang yung naging action niya, yun yung mas totoong, sabi ko, hindi, kaya pala Olympic medalist ka. She's not an Olympic medalist for nothing. Sobrang yung action niya, grabe ang pinakita niyang sportsmanship and courage.
Okay, usapang basketball naman, no? Hindi naman nag-qualify yung Philippine team, but exciting pa rin yung Olympic tournament para sa maraming Pilipino. Nandun ka nung Team USA versus Team France na finals, no? The gold medal match. And then, of course, this is in Paris. Yung Team France had the home crowd behind them, in addition to probably one of the most famous athletes and one of the best basketball players in the world, no? Si Wembanyama, versus Team USA superstars. So it was an epic battle, no? And it was a good game. JP, you were there, so give us the lowdown.
I was there because I was there primarily because wala nung finals na yan, wala nang laban yung mga Filipino athletes natin. So in short, walang conflict because ang priority ko talaga, as much as I want to attend all those games, yung mga historic games, is yung our athletes natin. Plus by the way, that venue kung saan nangyari yung championship ng Team USA and Team France sa basketball is Bercy Arena. It's the same venue where Kaloy, napalalunan yung 2 gold. Grabe yung fans. Parang feeling ko, hindi ko alam kung yung mga USA fans ba na yon ay dumayo from US to France o talagang base sila sa France o French national sila pero ang daming Team USA, naka-flag talaga silang lahat. May mga you know how sports Americans are very super fanatic, no, sa sports nila. Pero pagpasok ko doon sa media tribune sa mismong stadium, nandun na pala lahat ng mga French nationals. Dahil talagang literally na parang 60% French nationals na fans, 40% US. So talagang dumadagundong, tapos
Sandali, JP, sinadya ba yun? Because I'm sure sold out yung tickets, and the French could have easily filled that arena with like 90% French fans para talagang mas may advantage yung team nila. Pero sabi mo, 40% yung Team USA fans, no? So,
yes,
almost patas yung even yung home crowd.
Hindi ko lang alam, Sir Howie, paano yung naging sistema ng pag-distribute na ng tickets, pero I can only assume na unahan sila sa pagbili ng ticket. Talagang pinaghandaan nila. Kasi syempre, remember, global naman din yung reach ng Team USA are primarily NBA superstars. No? Although we have a few sa France, no? Si Wembanyama nga. Um,
Si
uh,
Gobert.
Yes, yeah. At yung araw nung finals na yon, nakita ko si Jimmy Fallon, si Snoop Dogg, andun lahat yung mga kasi from where may nandun talaga silang lahat yung mga ibang NBA superstars, Dwayne Wade, nandun silang lahat. Ang daming mga celebrities, French President Emmanuel Macron was there. Kaya pala sobrang even us na normally nakakapanik lang sa media tribune, parang it took us 30 minutes bago nakapanik dahil grabe yung security check because yun nga, nandun yung head of state, yung presidente nila. So, and then coming in from a match na sa Serbia na sobrang dikit yung laban ng USA, no? Sobrang daming kinabahan doon, muntik na silang malaglag sa finals, no? And at saka yung the entire game itself dikit. Hindi naman sobrang lamang yung USA pero hindi rin naman laglag yung France. So exciting.
May chance yung France in the last couple of minutes, di ba?
Yes, may chance. So talagang ang tindi ng pressure kasi iniisip parating ng mga nandoon, nako parang pag natalo yung NBA superstars, 'di ba? Parang ang laking noon, 'di ba? Although it's, 'di ba? Ang laking dagok noon, no? Dahil they are considered as the, NBA. Ganun lang naman yung kasimple. And of course, ang naglalaro
But
si
France also had NBA superstars. No? I mean,
Yes, they
stars. I mean,
they have, they have pero
you see Rudy Gobert, Wembanyama is now para siguro superstar na rin si Wembanyama ngayon, no?
superstar na rin siya, actually yung level niya. Pero sir, kasi yung dynamics naman kasi nakikita mo, LeBron James, last pa ni LeBron to, at Steph Curry and uh,
Durant.
Kevin Durant, KD. And it's so nice to see up close na best friends, BFF si LeBron James at si Steph
Curry.
Curry sa court. No? So parang,
Kasi matagal nang magkaribal yon.
yes, they're really, talaga maramdaman mo naglalaro sila for ang dami na lang moments sa court na hinahawakan ni LeBron yung mukha ni Steph, nagtatapikan sila. So I mean, someone who watches NBA, talagang it's, they're, they're playing for USA. And every time na may chant ng USA, parang lahat nga doon, parang parang hindi ka naman USA, pero nag-cheer ka sa USA kasi nga, you watch the NBA, no? Parang although mayroon ding dahil France yung kalaban nila, so gusto mo at the same time gusto mo rin manalo yung France kasi home country nila yon, and then they're the host ng Olympics, 'di ba? Now which they did so well, by the way.
So
Uh,
ano yung naging mood sa Paris nung natalo yung Team France versus USA?
in fairness, hindi naman sila naglabasan agad sa stadium. So nandun pa rin sila doon. Parang they stayed sa awarding ceremony because I think I felt curious kasi even the French nationals na nakikita ko, nagpi-picture sila sa yung and the gold medal and the Olympic champion, gold medal, USA, ganyan. So nagkukuha rin sila ng picture, very curious sila. Inantay din nila syempre yung silver ng France. Um, Masaya pa rin. I think I cannot say na parang ang lungkot ng vibe dahil although syempre mas marami sigurong sigawan kung France, pero ang saya kasi ang saya-saya lang din talaga kasi nga siguro dahil nakikita rin nila yung mga idol nila na NBA superstars, LeBron James na yun nga na naka-gold na shoes nung time na yon, naka-gold, parang inihahanda na niya yung sinasayik na niya yung sarili niya to a gold medal. And yeah, it sobrang traffic pala, by the way, bago after ng game na yon. Yeah.
JP, I have to ask you about another Filipino athlete na hindi nag-medal pero he was one of the favorites, no? He's one of the top pole vaulters in the world, si EJ Obiena. I interviewed him 2 years ago when he was already number 2 in the world, no? Behind the eventual gold medal winner in Paris, no? Pero hindi nag fourth place si Obiena, no? What was that like when he didn't medal? Laki ng disappointment. People were moved by his own reaction. Nabanggit mo kanina yung yung reaction ni Nesty Pelesio nung nag-bronze siya despite the fact na she was a favorite to be a gold medalist. Si EJ naman was a favorite to to stand on the podium as a medalist, no? Tas fourth of course out of in the world
Yeah.
is already an honor, but hindi siya nag-medal, no? So you were there, you witnessed that, you were able to talk to him. Give us your impression of that moment when he realized that everyone realized that he was not going to medal.
Yeah, so we were the first people na nakausap ni EJ after that, after the pole vaulting finals sa mixon. And yung first words, ang tagal eh. We waited for him for almost an hour, no? Kasi they could even if tapos na yung fourth na siya, ang first words na nakita niya kami nung media delegation of the Philippines, "Oh, I'm sorry, pinagantay ko kayo." Ayun. Tapos sabi niya, kasi we were trying to console him, we were trying to congratulate him kasi coming in from 11th place, I think, on Tokyo, fourth, 'di ba? It's still an achievement, and ang dapat maintindihan ng Pilipino, Sir Howie, ng tao na makapasok ka lang sa Olympics, mag-qualify ka lang at makapag-compete ka doon, dugot pawis na 'yon, no? Ang katumbas noon. So, but I know ang sabi ni EJ, fourth place, ito yung sakto niya, fourth place is the harshest place to be. So parang parang yun na, pero hindi pa. Well, sorry din siya. He apologized for if he failed daw the Filipino people. But he was still, oh, by the way, he was wearing the socks of his parents, no? Yun yung kanyang ano doon. Ramdam mo yung lungkot talaga sa kanya. And pero well, again, I think I understand now why people like him so much, and Filipinos can relate to him. He's like your pinsan, your pamangkin na nag-achieve sa sports, very humble, very down to earth, nakasmile pa rin. Ano siya, parang good boy na anak ng na mapagmahal sa mga magulang. In fact, he brought in his parents there, his dad and his dad is also a former pole vaulter nandoon, and his mother went to Paris to watch him with his sister and his girlfriend from Germany, also an athlete. So we were able to talk to them as well after the fight. Yeah, so I think mas nakilala ko si EJ after that fight. I have seen his interviews with you and other interviews in the past. He's very napaka-genuine niya, in a sense na para siyang poster boy, lumalabas ng may ganun siyang effect. So very relatable din sa mga Pinoy. And ang sinasabi niya, meron din siyang injury. By the way, sir, meron din siyang injury pinagdadaanan nung time na yon. And hindi pa naman tapos yung journey niya. Lalaban pa rin daw siya, pero hindi lang siya sure kung LA 2028.
Okay, JP, I can't end this conversation without asking you about August 21, 1983. Today is August 21, 2024. No, I want to ask you about August 21 because you did a film as part of your Masters in Film Studies at UP Diliman about Recto Mersenne, a legendary news photographer who was at the airport. Back then, it was the Manila International Airport when Ninoy Aquino arrived from exile in the United States and was shot dead. No, was shot dead and changed the course of Philippine history. And Recto Mersenne was one of the photographers who took photos of that event, and his photos in particular became iconic. No, ginamit as evidence in the hearings about the assassination. It led to a change in government, etc. But you decided to focus on Recto Mersenne. You met him. He has passed away very recently, but I suppose you were one of the last to interview him about that event, no? I saw it as a just to disclose, no? Pinakita mo sa akin while you were still working on it, and I did help you with the subtitles. But you know, the work was your effort. You directed it, you wrote it, and I think you shot a big part of it, no? It was a film project that had nothing to do with GMA News. This was a passion project on your part, in addition to being an academic requirement, I suppose, no? So it's August 21 today. What should people in your generation? You were 1 year old. Just to, I'm just outing your age here, no? You were very young in 1986. So wala kang memory nung nangyari yon. But you know more than most people in your generation because you spent time with Recto Mersene, who
Yeah.
told you about that day. So what should younger people remember or know about August 21, 1983?
Yeah, and thank you, sir, for helping me with this passion project. Napakalaking bagay noon, and coming from yung contribution mo parang nakadagdag ng confidence sa akin sa pag-produce. Yes, this film was I did it with my friends Carla Rimban and Sherwin Pescante. Sila yung editor. It's really I know maraming mahabang masyadong malalim at complicated yung kasong yon, but I decided to focus on the work on the photojournalism aspect of it, of Recto Mersenne, and paano niya paano niya nagawa, paano niya nakunan, anong nangyari in between, paano siya nakalabas ng airport, paano na print considering na martial law nung time na yon. Ano yung mga naging restrictions niya, paano niya na ilusot at na-publish, ano yung mga nangyari afterwards, pinatawag siya sa korte. Kasi he's still very active sa DFA, DEEP, which I'm part of, the DFA Press Corps. So, yeah, and then I think ano siya, itong storying to I hope ang goal really nito is to inspire photojournalists na kahit sa kabila ng mga nangyayari ngayon, ang laki-laki ng obligation ng mission for you to fight for the truth. And I think bagay din siyang i-discuss ngayon considering there's AI and everything, manipulating photos and everything, ganyan, authenticity of photographs, its effects sa history. Yung photograph na yon, parang ano yun 10 frames yon. But it helped how paano na-shape yung history natin later on because, yung mga events that unfolded afterwards, we all know that. I just hope na mapanood siya ng mga aspiring photojournalist, ng mga aspiring journalists for that matter, and not see it as anything else, but something na contribution ng isang reporter. Ganun lang. Gusto ko siyang matignan ng ganun lang po, Sir Howie.
Well, speaking of which, JP, saan ba mapapanood ang Recto, yung pamagat ng iyong documentary about Recto Mersenne?
Well, it's already on YouTube. It's already posted there. Just type yung Recto, JP Soriano. By the way, portions of it were shown on GMA News previously. So parang snippets of it. Yeah, they can always watch it there. Pwede nilang i-share sa mga teacher, yung mga teacher nagtuturo ng photojournalism, we can learn something from Recto's experience na he told in a way na napaka-engaging magkwento ni Mang Recto. We call him Mang Recto, by the way. Yeah, akala nga nila yung Recto yung documentary about the place, no? Yeah, but ang sarap makinggan ng kwento ni Mang Recto. Parang gusto mo talagang makinig talaga ang tapusin yung kwento niya. So I was just lucky to have that moment with him before he passed on during the pandemic. So yeah, please do watch if you have the time. And thank you, Sir Howie, for believing in that film.
Well, that's a good note to end on, JP. Congratulations on that film. Very timely today. Thank you for sharing your Olympic experience and for your service to the public. JP Soriano, documentary filmmaker and veteran reporter ng GMA Integrated News. Mabuhay ka. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Sir Howie.
Hi, I'm Howie Severino. Check out the Howie Severino podcast. New episodes will stream every Thursday. Listen for free on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms.